The Anchor and Chain sat 3 blocks from Naval Base San Diego, a dive bar that had been serving sailors, Marines, and the occasional lost civilian since 1952. The walls were covered with unit patches, photos of ships, and enough memorabilia to fill a small naval museum. On a Friday night in September, it was packed with off-duty personnel looking to blow off steam before the weekend ended. Jasper Kane sat alone at the far end of the bar, nursing a whiskey neat. At 39, he looked older, weathered skin, grey threading through his dark hair, eyes that had the 1,000-yard stare that came from seeing things most people couldn't imagine. He wore civilian clothes, jeans, a plain black t-shirt, worn boots. Nothing remarkable, nothing that drew attention. At least, that had been the plan. "Hey, you former military?" The voice came from his left, a young guy, maybe 25, fresh-faced and eager. Navy, based on the haircut and the way he carried himself. "Yeah," Jasper said quietly. "What branch?" "Navy." "No shit. What rate?" The kid slid onto the stool next to him, beer in hand. His name tag said, "Bennett." "I'd rather not talk about it." "Come on, man, I'm a sonar tech. We're all brothers here, right?" Bennett grinned, already a few drinks in. "Let me guess. Surface warfare, submarine? Something like that." "You're being mysterious. That's cool, that's cool." Bennett leaned in, lowering his voice conspiratorially. "Wait, were you special operations? Like SEALs or something?" Jasper's jaw tightened imperceptibly. "I said I'd rather not talk about it." "Holy shit, you were!" Bennett's voice rose. "Dude, that's awesome! How many deployments? Where'd you go? Iraq? Afghanistan?" "Keep your voice down." Sorry. Bennett wasn't sorry. He turned to his friends at a nearby table. "Guys, this dude's a SEAL!" 3 more sailors drifted over, suddenly interested. One of them, a stocky guy with a shaved head and skeptical eyes, looked Jasper up and down. "You're a SEAL." His tone was flat, challenging. "I didn't say that. Bennett just said you were." Bennett assumed I didn't confirm anything. "So you're not a SEAL?" Jasper took a drink. "I didn't say that either." The stocky guy, his name tag read Maxwell, smirked. "Right. So you're being all mysterious and vague because you're totally legit." "Got it. I'm being vague because I want to be left alone. You know what I think?" Maxwell leaned against the bar. "I think you're full of shit. I think you're some wannabe who watches too many movies and likes the attention. Think what you want. Where'd you go through Bud S? I'm not having this conversation." "That's what I thought, because you didn't go through Bud S. You're a fake." Jasper set down his glass carefully. "I'm going to finish my drink and leave. You should go back to your friends." "Or what? You gonna kill me with your super secret SEAL moves?" Maxwell's voice dripped with contempt. "You're pathetic, man. Stolen valor is a crime, you know that?" "I'm aware." "So admit it. You're not a SEAL. You never were." Jasper stood slowly, pulled out his wallet, and dropped cash on the bar. "Enjoy your evening." As he turned to leave, Maxwell grabbed his arm. "I'm not done talking to you." "Yes, you are." Jasper's voice went cold. "Remove your hand." "Or what?" The bartender, a former Marine named Theo, stepped in. "Maxwell, let him go. You're drunk." "He's a fake. He's sitting here pretending to be a SEAL, and you're just gonna let him walk away." "I'm gonna let everyone walk away before this gets stupid." But Maxwell wasn't listening. He grabbed Jasper's shoulder, trying to turn him around. What happened next was fast, so fast that most people missed it. Jasper moved. A simple wrist lock that put Maxwell face down on the bar, arm twisted at an angle that suggested serious training. "I asked you to remove your hand," Jasper said quietly. Then he released Maxwell and walked toward the door. Maxwell came up swinging. The shore patrol arrived 8 minutes later, 2 Navy Masters-at-Arms and 1 civilian police officer responding to a bar fight call. They found Maxwell on the floor with a dislocated shoulder, Bennett nursing a bloody nose, and Jasper sitting calmly at a table, hands visible, making no attempt to flee. "He attacked us," Maxwell shouted. "Claimed he was a SEAL and then went crazy when we called him out." "I never claimed anything," Jasper said evenly. "I asked to be left alone. They persisted. One of them grabbed me. I defended myself." "Bullshit! You're a fake, and now you're assaulting real sailors." The senior MA, a first-class petty officer named Finn, assessed the situation. "Sir, do you have military ID?" Jasper pulled out his wallet, produced a driver's license. "I'm retired. I don't carry military ID anymore." "Were you Navy?" "Yes." "What was your rating?" "I'd prefer not to say." Finn's eyes narrowed. "That's not really an answer." "It's the only answer I'm giving." "Sir, these sailors are claiming you represented yourself as a Navy SEAL. Is that true?" "No, they assumed." "I never confirmed or denied." "Why not just deny it?" "Because what I was or wasn't isn't their business." "It is, if you're claiming stolen valor." "I didn't claim anything." Maxwell struggled to his feet, cradling his shoulder. "He's lying. He was totally playing it up, being all mysterious, letting us think he was special ops." "Being mysterious isn't a crime," Jasper said. "Stolen valor is." Finn made a decision. "Sir, I'm going to need you to come with us to the Shore Patrol office. We need to sort this out. Am I under arrest?" "Not yet, but if you refuse to cooperate, that can change." Jasper stood slowly. "Fine, let's go." At the Shore Patrol office, a concrete building that smelled like disinfectant and stale coffee, they put Jasper in an interview room. Standard procedure, metal table, 2 chairs, mirror that was obviously one-way glass. They didn't handcuff him yet, but the implication was clear. Senior Chief Georgia Mills entered 20 minutes later, file folder in hand. At 45, she'd seen every kind of bullshit the Navy could produce, and her expression suggested she had Jasper pegged already. "Mr. Kane, I'm Senior Chief Mills. I handle stolen valor cases for this district. I haven't committed stolen valor. That's what we're here to determine." She opened the folder. "Jasper Kane, age 39, California driver's license. No wants, no warrants. But also no military record that we can find in the standard databases." "That's because I'm not in the standard databases." "Why not?" "Classified." George's eyebrow rose. "Classified." "Yes." "Mr. Kane, if you served in the military, there's a record. Everyone's in the system. The fact that you're not suggests you're lying. Or it suggests exactly what I said, that my service was classified." "That's convenient." "It's true." "Then prove it. Give me your service number, your unit, your commanding officer, something." Jasper was quiet for a moment. "I can't." "Can't or won't?" "Both." "Then we have a problem." Georgia leaned back. "Here's what I think happened. You're a civilian who likes the mystique of special operations. You go to military bars, act mysterious, let people assume you're a SEAL. You get attention, free drinks, respect you didn't earn. Then tonight someone called you out, you panicked, and you assaulted 2 sailors to protect your lie. That's not what happened. Then tell me what did happen." "I went to a bar for a quiet drink. A sailor made assumptions. I didn't correct him because I didn't owe him an explanation. His friends got aggressive. One grabbed me. I defended myself. That's it." "Why not just tell them you weren't a SEAL?" "Because I never said I was." "You let them believe it." "What people believe isn't my responsibility." Georgia stood. "I'm placing you under arrest for stolen valor and assault. You'll be held pending investigation and possible charges. I want a lawyer. You'll get one." She opened the door, gestured to Finn. "Cuff him." Jasper sat in a holding cell for 3 hours, small, concrete, a bench bolted to the wall. He'd been in worse places, much worse. This was just inconvenient. Outside, he could hear raised voices. Shore Patrol personnel, base security, someone making phone calls. The investigation was expanding. They'd probably contacted NCIS by now, maybe even the FBI. Stolen valor cases got attention, especially near military bases where the offense was personal. Around 11 p.m., the voices outside changed. Someone new had arrived, someone with authority. The conversation stopped. Footsteps approached. The cell door opened. Major General Claire Hendricks stood there, 2 stars gleaming on her uniform, an expression on her face that suggested she was not happy to be here. At 58, she commanded the Naval Special Warfare Command, the administrative headquarters for all SEAL teams. Behind her, Senior Chief Mills looked confused and slightly intimidated. "Mr. Kane," General Hendricks said. Jasper stood. "Ma'am, I received an interesting phone call tonight. Someone claiming that one of my former personnel had been arrested for stolen valor." Her eyes were sharp, assessing. "That seemed unlikely, so I came to see for myself." "I appreciate that, ma'am." "Senior Chief, remove the handcuffs." Mills hesitated. "Ma'am, he's under arrest." "Remove them, now." Mills complied, unlocking the cuffs. Jasper rubbed his wrists, saying nothing. "Roll up your left sleeve," Hendricks said quietly. Jasper understood. He rolled up the sleeve of his t-shirt, exposing his left bicep. There was a tattoo there. Small, discreet, easy to miss if you weren't looking for it. A trident, but not the SEAL trident. This one was different, slightly modified. The eagle's wings were darker, the anchor had an additional detail, and beneath it, so small it was almost invisible, were numbers, 2 to 74. General Hendricks went very still. She stepped closer, examining the tattoo in the harsh fluorescent light. Her hand trembled slightly as she reached out, then stopped just short of touching it. "My God," she whispered. "It's real." "Ma'am!" Mills looked between them, lost. Hendricks turned to the Shore Patrol personnel crowding the hallway. "Everyone out. This is now classified. Anyone who discusses what they've seen or heard tonight will face criminal charges. Am I clear?" "Ma'am, we have an investigation." "The investigation is over. Mr. Kane is being released immediately. All charges dropped, all paperwork sealed. This incident never happened." Her voice was steel. "That's not a request." The hallway cleared in seconds. When only Hendricks, Mills, and Jasper remained, the general spoke quietly. "Senior Chief, what you're about to hear is classified top secret. You will never discuss it, never reference it, never even think about it in mixed company, understood?" "Yes, ma'am." Hendricks turned to Jasper. "Unit 274, Shadow Squadron." Jasper said nothing, but his jaw tightened. "I wasn't read into the program until 2019, after it was disbanded. But I've seen the files. The redacted files." She gestured at his tattoo. "That mark identifies you as a member of the most classified unit in naval special warfare history, a unit that officially doesn't exist." "Ma'am, you don't have to confirm or deny. The tattoo says everything." She looked at Mills. "Senior Chief, this man is not only a legitimate special operations veteran, he's someone who conducted missions so sensitive that acknowledging them could compromise national security. He can't prove his service because his service doesn't officially exist." Mills's eyes widened. "Holy shit." "Precisely." Hendricks pulled out her phone. "I'm making calls. By morning you'll have documentation that shows you're a retired Navy veteran with an honorable discharge. No operational details, just enough to prevent this from happening again." "I didn't want documentation," Jasper said quietly. "That's why I never pushed for it." "Because you preferred to stay invisible." "Yes, ma'am. Well, that's not working anymore. Tonight proves it." She met his eyes. "How many missions?" 37 over 6 years, ma'am." "Countries?" 17. "Casualties?" "None on my teams. Can't speak for the targets." Hendricks nodded slowly. "Shadow Squadron was disbanded in 2018 after a congressional oversight committee discovered its existence. The operators were given retirement packages and told to disappear. Most did. A few tried to integrate back into regular military. None of them succeeded. I didn't try to integrate. I just wanted to be left alone." And yet here we are, in the empty Shore Patrol office, with only Mills as a witness. General Hendricks told the story that couldn't officially be told. Shadow Squadron was created in 2009 as a response to emerging threats that conventional special operations couldn't address. Targets who were too politically sensitive for acknowledged military action. Missions in countries where we officially had no presence. Operations that needed to be deniable at every level. She paced as she spoke, her voice low. They recruited from existing SEAL teams, Delta Force, Marine Raiders, took the best operators and made them ghosts. No official records, no public acknowledgement, no connection to any recognized unit. They conducted missions that, if exposed, could have started wars. Mills listened, her face pale. The tattoo, Hendricks pointed at Jasper's arm, was the only identifier. Modified trident to distinguish them from regular SEALs, and a unit number that only exists in classified files, 2724. Shadow Squadron's designation. How many operators? Mills asked. At peak, maybe 40. They rotated through a training facility that officially didn't exist, deployed on missions that weren't logged, and returned to civilian cover identities between operations. Hendricks looked at Jasper. You were one of them. I can't confirm that, Ma'am. You don't have to. The tattoo confirms it. She sat down heavily. The program was shut down when it became politically untenable. Too many questions, too much risk. The operators were given separation packages and told to never discuss their service. Most complied, but the problem is they can't prove they served. So when situations like tonight happen, they get arrested for stolen valor, Mills finished. Exactly. So what happens now? Now, Mr. Kane gets documentation that protects him without revealing operational details. A DD-214 showing honorable discharge from classified special operations, no unit specifics, no duty stations, just enough to prove he served. And the assault charges? What assault charges? Hendricks's voice hardened. As far as the record shows, there was a misunderstanding at a bar. No charges filed, case closed. Mills nodded slowly. Understood, Ma'am. Jasper spoke for the first time in minutes. The sailors I fought, Maxwell and Bennett, they'll talk. Let them, Hendricks said. Who's going to believe them? They'll say they met a guy who might have been special ops, got in a fight, and then a 2-star general showed up and everything got swept under the rug. It'll sound like a conspiracy theory. It is a conspiracy theory. No, a conspiracy theory is fiction. This is operational security. She handed him a card. My direct number. If this happens again, if anyone questions your service, you call me immediately. Don't engage, don't defend yourself, just call. I'll handle it. I don't want special treatment. You're not getting special treatment. You're getting what you earned. Protection for service you can't discuss. Her voice softened. How have you been? Since the program ended. Jasper was quiet. Adjusting. That's not an answer. It's the only one I have, Ma'am. Hendricks sighed. There's a support network. Of the shadow operators trying to navigate civilian life. They meet quarterly, informally, no official organization. Just guys who understand what you went through. I can connect you. I prefer being alone. That's what they all say, until the isolation becomes worse than the classified past. She stood. Think about it. The numbers on the card. Jasper walked out of the Shore Patrol office at midnight, technically a free man but carrying the weight of exposure. For 11 years, he'd managed to stay invisible. One night, one bar, one confrontation, and the carefully constructed anonymity had shattered. Outside, leaning against a streetlight, was Senior Chief Mills. Thought you'd left, Jasper said. Couldn't. Had questions. She straightened. That tattoo, Shadow Squadron, is it real? Or is this some elaborate cover story? If I said it was real, that would violate classification. If I said it was a cover story, that would be lying. So I'm going to say nothing, and you're going to accept that. Mills studied him. I've been in the Navy 23 years, seen SEALs, seen special operations, seen guys who talk big and guys who do the work quietly. You're different. The way you moved in that bar fight, that wasn't bar brawling. That was training at a level I've never seen. I've had good teachers, and now you're just... What? Living as a civilian, working a normal job. I do security consulting. Pays well, doesn't ask too many questions, but you're alone. Jasper didn't answer. That's the thing about being a ghost, Mills said quietly. Eventually, you forget how to be real. You spend so long pretending to be someone you're not that when the mission ends, you don't know who you actually are. That sounds like personal experience. Different circumstances. But yeah, I get it. She handed him a business card, her personal cell number. If you ever need someone to talk to, someone who won't ask questions about classified bullshit, call me. No judgment, no expectations, just someone who understands what it's like to carry weight you can't share. Jasper took the card. Why? Because I saw something tonight. When General Hendricks looked at your tattoo, I saw respect. Real respect. The kind you don't fake. Whatever you did, whatever missions you ran, they mattered. And people who matter shouldn't have to face the world alone. She walked away, leaving Jasper standing in the empty parking lot. 3 weeks later, he attended his first Shadow Squadron reunion. 27 former operators gathered in a rented warehouse in Virginia. No names, no official documentation, just guys who'd shared experiences they couldn't discuss with anyone else. They didn't talk about missions, didn't compare body counts or relive operations. They talked about transition, about struggling to find purpose in a world that didn't understand what they'd sacrificed, about relationships that failed because you couldn't explain where you'd been or what you'd done, about the isolation that came from being a ghost. Jasper shared his story about the bar, the arrest, General Hendricks's intervention. The others nodded with recognition. Half of them had similar experiences. The hardest part, one operator said, isn't the missions. It's coming back and realizing you can't prove you were ever gone, or that the person you were before doesn't exist anymore, another added, and the person you became can't be acknowledged. As the night wore on and the conversations deepened, Jasper felt something he hadn't felt in years. Connection, not to a mission or an operation, but to people who understood the cost of operating in shadows so complete that not even your own country could recognize your sacrifice. The tattoo on his arm remained, a permanent mark of service that officially didn't exist. But for the first time since leaving Shadow Squadron, Jasper realized it didn't have to define him. The mark was real, the missions were real, the sacrifices were real. And maybe that was enough, not for glory or recognition or public acknowledgement, just for the quiet certainty that what he'd done mattered, even if the world would never know. That night he pulled out Senior Chief Mills' card and sent a text. Thanks for believing me when you had no reason to. It meant more than you know. Her response came minutes later. That's what sailors do. We look out for each other, even the ones who officially don't exist. Jasper smiled slightly, the first genuine smile in months. Being a ghost was lonely, but maybe ghosts could still find community among those who understood what it meant to serve in silence. The mark was real. The service was real, and finally, slowly, Jasper was beginning to believe that he could be real too.